from the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, good morning, party people. Welcome to our episode today, May 26, 2021. A lot to cover, but we are live. Like, actually, not like pre-recorded or like I've been doing. Live. Good morning to Scott, Eric, Nick, and Corinne. I hope everyone's doing wonderful this Thursday morning. We've got a packed show today with a lot of things to talk about, including someone finally arrested, that dang Nigerian prince who's been trying to get us all to open bank accounts for him and transfer money and giving us wealth. So Nigerian prince in handcuffs, apparently. DuckDuckGo news on privacy. We've got a few privacy stories today, as well as some critical vulnerabilities and some government overreach, all in one awesome episode in under 15 minutes. Let's get right to it. But before we do, we are looking for a practitioner brief sponsor. So if you're interested in taking part of the show, you can go to cyberhubpodcast.com, fill out a form, and someone from our team will reach out and tell you about the great opportunities we have available now to be part of our show. Good morning to Chris. Eric, did I say 2021 or 2022? I don't know. It all feels the same to me. It is Thursday and it's really early. And in my defense, I haven't had my espresso with y'all yet. So coffee cup cheers, folks. All right, security gang, let's get into what's happening with our leading story. The alleged leader of the Nigerian email fraud group has been captured, according to Interpol. Interpol on Wednesday said it struck a major blow against the cybercrime group known for business email compromise scams aimed at stealing money from companies around the world. The International Law Enforcement Agency announced that the cybercrime unit of Nigeria's National Police arrested a 37-year-old Nigerian man suspected to be the leader of a BEC group known as Silver Terrier to many researchers. The unidentified suspect is alleged to have run a transnational cybercrime syndicate that launched mass phishing campaigns and business email compromise schemes targeting companies and individual victims. Palo Alto's Unit 42 said they assisted in the investigation and also posted a photo of the suspect, but did not identify him by name. Trend Micro, Group IB, and Cyber Toolbell all also collaborated with law enforcement on this effort. The operation is the latest in a series of counter BEC actions that most recently included the apprehension of 15 suspected members of the Silver Terrier gang in January in Operation Falcon 2. The latest one was called Operation Delilah. I love it. So apparently, he attempted to the Silver Terrier actor fled Nigeria in 2021 when authorities initially attempted to apprehend him. Months later, in March of this year, he attempted to return home and was quickly identified and detained as he attempted to re-enter Nigeria. So one guy's down here. Well done. And so good news across the board. In a privacy kind of piece, DuckDuckGo browser apparently allows Microsoft trackers due to a search agreement. So DuckDuckGo, something we've really been promoting and talking about for our privacy purposes, has kind of struck an accord with Microsoft to allow Microsoft trackers on third-party sites. And that's because of the search content contract between the two companies. DuckDuckGo, who says and prides itself on its privacy and not tracking your searches or behavior while performing searches, is now showing that Microsoft may track your IP address and other information when clicking on ad links for accounting purposes, but it's not associated with a user advertising profile. DuckDuckGo also offers a privacy-centric web browser for iOS and Android that promotes many privacy features, including the HTTPS always encryption, third-party cookie blocking, and tracker blocking. So allowing the Microsoft trackers may actually hurt DuckDuckGo just a little bit here. DuckDuckGo CEO and founder Gabriel Weinberg confirmed that the Microsoft party trackers are there. So at least some level of transparency and tracking is tracking. So they're trying to compare it, but disappointing news nonetheless. And so let's get into critical vulnerabilities. One that was found in open automation software platform, Cisco Talos Research and Threat Intel Unit revealed on Wednesday that one of its employees discovered several critical and high severity vulnerabilities in the open automation software platform, which is a US based company that provides connectivity solutions for industrial control systems or IoT devices, databases, and custom applications. It's powered by a universal data connector, can be used to move data between PLCs from different vendors or from a PLC to a database or from a database into visualization. The firm says its solution are used by some of the world's biggest companies, including energy, defense, aerospace, healthcare, water, and automotive sectors. The vendor was informed about the vulnerabilities in March and April and released patches last week, according to Talos. The vulnerabilities assigned a critical severity rating based on their CVSS score. This includes CV 2022-26082, a file write vulnerability that can be exploited for remote code execution using specially crafted network requests, and CV 2022-26833, which allows an attacker to authenticate as a default user with a blank username and password sent to a certain endpoint. Patch is in place. Experts are warning of a rise in ChromeLoader malware hijacking users' browsers. A malvertising threat is witnessing a new surge in activity. The ChromeLoader, which is a malware that's pervasive and persistent in browser hijacker that modifies its victim's browser setting, redirects user traffic to advertisement websites, according to Red Canary. ChromeLoader itself, which is a rogue Chrome browser extension, is typically distributed in the form of an ISO file via paper install sites or beta social media posts and advertise a QR code that cracks video games and pirated movies. So while its primary functions by hijacking user search queries to Google, Yahoo, and Bing and redirecting traffic to an advertising site, it's also notable for its use of PowerShell to inject itself into the browser and get an extension added. So malvertising on the up and up here, folks. You want to make sure you're updating your browser. The FTC fines Twitter $150 million for using two-factor authentication information for targeted advertising. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, made the fine. They said they were using phone numbers and email addresses to enable two-factor authentication, but they were also using it for targeted advertising. Twitter asked over 140 million users, I think that's the total number of users after the whole bot debacle on Twitter, to protect their accounts starting in 2013, but it failed to inform them that the data would also be used to allow advertisers to target them with ads. In a direct violation of the FTC Act and a 2011 Commission administrative order, which banned the company from misrepresenting its security and privacy practices and profiting from deceptively collected data. The order was issued following a settlement for failing to safeguard its users' personal information after hackers gained admin control of Twitter between January and May of 2009. As the complaint notes, Twitter obtained data from users on the pretext of harnessing it for security purposes, then ended up using the data to target users with ad. Why am I not surprised that Twitter has deceptive practices? I don't know. 150 million, I think they got off cheap. This could have been a good find to help Elon Musk buy and rebuild this company a little bit better than before. So, yeah, this is very, very interesting on the Twitter side. And finally, folks, Pakistan shuts down their internet ahead of protest over ousting of the prime minister. Internet service in Pakistan is being artificially limited as the government seeks to shut down protests organized by former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who became the first leader in the country's history to be removed from office in a no-confidence motion in the parliament on April 10th. NetBlocks, an organization that tracks internet outages across the world, said there were disruptions to service from multiple providers across Pakistan after 5 p.m. local time Wednesday. Alp Tokar, director of NetBlocks, told The Record that real-time network data showed restrictions coming into effect across multiple providers in a pattern consistent with an intentional disruption of service. Should access to internet be part of your civil rights, Bill of Rights? I know, very, very interesting as more and more governments shut down internet. Now, Pakistan, we've seen that happen in Myanmar, China, Russia, Ukraine, and other places. So really interesting to see Pakistan now shutting down internet and trying to keep protests down when there's civil unrest. Really interesting of them to do that, at least in my humble and personal opinion. Folks, that's it for our show today. It is Memorial Weekend, so take your time this weekend. Please thank a veteran if you know a Gold Star family or someone who's a loved one served in the military and made the ultimate sacrifice. This would be a great weekend to not just think of barbecuing or the oncoming summer that's right around the corner, but also remembering that family, thanking them for their service, thanking them for their sacrifice. Fly a flag proud this weekend. We'll all stand in remembering the great men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice so that on July 4th, in just a month and a half from now, we can all celebrate the independence of this nation. And so really just, this weekend, just say have a meaningful Memorial Weekend, folks. Really do. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back on Monday. Sorry, we won't have a show on Monday because it is Memorial Day. I may do a special non-cyber related kind of like a memorial thing. Maybe we'll talk about some of the stories of some of these men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice and what that means to those families and that sacrifice means to those families in a time where our nation seems utterly divided, in a time where we can't seem to agree on what one word is defined by. This weekend might be a good weekend to just put all of our differences aside, and doesn't matter who you voted for or what you identify as. We are all Americans, and this one weekend we all get to honor our fellow Americans who've made the ultimate sacrifice and their families who have to live with that sacrifice themselves as well. Don't forget those families. Don't forget veterans. Also, this is a really difficult weekend for many deployed veterans and many veterans who are deployed and came back, remembering their brethren and sisters who were lost in battle. So take some time this week and think of that. And most importantly, enjoy the freedoms this country has to offer. Folks, that's it for us here. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great and meaningful Memorial Weekend. And most importantly, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.